Knicks fans, welcome to another episode of Delusional Knicks Fan Network, where we bring you that Knicks content that you need. Let's get it situated real quick. Let me just check sure all the platforms are running smooth, and we are good to go. Knicks fans, we here. Knicks are 2-0 right now against the Cavs. Game 3 preview. Definitely want to recap game 2. As I was at the Garden seeing it live, there's no place like MSG, no place like the Garden. Just hearing the sounds, just straight. All you hearing is just, you know, hearing that live. No greater place. No greater place than that. But hold on, let's see. So yeah, game 2 was a good game. Was a good game, top to bottom. Great game plan from the Knicks. Was pretty much attack James Harden, and Josh Hart. The game plan for Cleveland was leave Josh Hart open, and Josh Hart made them pay. In the first half, it was kind of shaky. Them jump shots was not dropping, but eventually we got it going. Hold on, let me check that. All right. But 109 to 103, Knicks won by 16. Like I said, Josh Hart easily came in with 26 points. Excuse me, let me just check really quick. 26 points, was 5 of 11 from three-pointer. That was the difference in this game, was the spacing in the shooting aspect that Josh was able to get. Let me pull up the videos here. All right, perfect. Sorry, it's been a minute that I went live. I feel like I'm all over the place. But with Josh, I believe that was the kind of the key aspect for us to kind of keep it pushing, to keep it moving, to get us in that zone was his 3-point shooting. To go 5 for 7, and honestly, from the first couple of jump shots, he was missing those wide open shots. As we know, the game plan for Cleveland was to pretty much put Allen on him and kind of space the floor. But, put Allen on him so that he can help out and leave Josh open, similar to what they did in that Detroit series. But as you can see, he's not one of the Thompson brothers. Josh actually can shoot the rock. He can actually move the rock and be creative and create for others. And even Brunson with 14 assists, as that is what a Knick career high during the playoffs. 14 assists, right? He didn't have it going in the first half, but eventually switched over, started finding guys. Why? Because they were blitzing, right? They were trapping Brunson. They was blitzing. He was giving it up early, finding guys in their key spots, and he was executing. Right, that's how Brunson got those 14 assists. And then, of course, that second half is Brunson time. It's go time. That's where he's able to put the ball in the baskets, mid-range jump shots, knock down a couple of threes, and manipulate the offense. You know, OG started to knock down a couple of three-pointers. OG got into the paint. But this was all through JB setting it up. All through with Jalen Brunson setting it up. And it's weird because remember in that Detroit series, they were running the offense. In the we ran through Philly that I totally forgot. Williams was going on. Williams, what it do, Williams? So in that Philly series, we ran the offense straight through Cat, and Cat was effective. He was averaging over 18 assists per game during 18 assists. I'm looking at the number. He was averaging 7 assists per game during that aspect, due to the fact that they put in a smaller body on him. Embiid, they forced Embiid out. We couldn't run those similar actions against Cleveland Cavs because Cleveland has multiple guys that they thrown on Cat, and it wasn't effective because they still had a big in the paint, so they were still able to be not as effective, which is why we went to the Brunson heavy offense, which is fine. It's still working. It's still honestly working. But OG, finally you get OG coming alive. Finally you got OG being aggressive. And it was questionable with the hamstring issue, but First game, we saw that he barely wanted to push on it. He barely wanted to be aggressive. But then came into game two. He played 31 minutes, 5 for 8 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3-point line. So we'll take those attempts. And the 14 points and the plus 22 is crucial. Having OG there. Let me see. All right, there we go. Right, so it was crucial having OG during that time. Right, and coach, I think coach is the reason why the Knicks are maintaining and why we doing is the adjustments that the Knicks are doing. Right, they're switching up adjustments. Let me see if you can see it clearly. Right, we're switching up adjustments. Right, we ran a lot of pick and roll. Right, then we went to the high set with Cat at the nail. Then Brunson coming off the curl, right? So we mixed up the offense so it wasn't steady, so that Cleveland could not just game plan defensively, moving the rock, right? Which is a big key. When we stay stagnant, ball heavy with Brunson, it's not going to happen. We're not going to go nowhere with that aspect. For kudos to coach to mix it up, even defensively against Cleveland, right? We saw in the first game. Right, during the pick and roll, they wanted to switch a lot. But during that pick and roll aspect, it wasn't working. Cleveland was still getting to where they wanted to. They was getting multiple sets. So, Knicks had to switch. So, we started from switching the pick and roll, then we went to blitzing. Right, during that blitzing aspect, it was leaving a lot of shooters open. We saw that Dean Wade was knocking them down. What's the other guy? Sam Merrill, right? Max Strus. So these are shooters that Cleveland have to space it out. So whenever we blitz, they just got off the ball quickly, right? Knock down shooters. And Knicks rotation, it was tough for them to get back. So from that, we went to hedging, right? The hedging aspect is obviously where you busting out the 6'9", right? So the hedging aspect is where pretty much on the pick and roll, right? The second defender, he jumps up, shoots up to prevent the penetration, but then he also gets back to his player. So they was running a lot of hedging action. Whether it was James Harden running a big pick and roll, Nick started to hedge, and he was able to get back, even with Cat. My guy, what it do? No, look, we had to switch up defense, my guy. We had to switch up the defense, which helped us out tremendously. Especially the hedging aspect. I think the hedging pretty much contained the guards. As James Harden, he obviously still went to the free throw line only 3 times. And we're used to James getting into the paint, right, off the high pick and roll, getting to the free throw lines at least 8 or 9 times. So to keep him on that aspect is great. Even Donovan Mitchell, he went to the free throw 9 times. But the fact that he's not getting off on his 3-point shots on those pick and rolls, which he was 2 for 7, which he's infamous and known for, right? But great defensive switch up by the coach, where we just kind of versatile, whether we're hedging, whether we're switching, or we're blitzing. So, those are really the key. And then there was certain moments where we were in ice. We went into, drop coverage, right? Mike Brown and team gets prop. Oh, no, 100%, which is why the collaborative of them getting rid of Tibbs and bringing in all the other coaches, so it's a collaboration. So at first, we questioned it. At first, it's like, oh, we get rid of Tibbs. We just went to the Eastern Conference Finals. We was 2 games away from the finals. But lo and behold, bringing in these other guys who are fantastic on the board. I believe it was one of the head coaches. I really got to get these head coaches' name. I think one is Chris Gent, who's like the offensive coordinator. Then there's a guy that we brought in from Oklahoma City. He was their G League coach that they brought up. And his pen on the play calling is phenomenal. Same. I was Team Tibbs. I was definitely Team Tibbs. Definitely rocking with Tibbs. But yeah, no, the coaching has been phenomenal. You see in certain plays of where Mike Brown let his offensive coaches coach. They're drawing up plays in the huddle, and he's sitting back and watching, is giving his 2 cents. And you can see the adjustments in the game, which is very crucial, right? Especially playing at this point in time with the Knicks, it's crucial. All right, we're trying to bring that goal. We're trying to bring that Larry O'Brien. So, pardon me, very crucial moments. Um, but just looking at Evan Mobley, right? The beginning of the game, like I said, I was at the game live. Seeing Evan Mobley in that first half, you thought that this guy was going to go off for 30 points. He had 14 points. I want to say possibly in that first quarter. That first half, probably leading to the first half, he had the 14 points. Missing since, right? I don't know what happened because he was doing that against OG. He went at Mitch a couple times, got to the basket, like knocking down the 3-pointers in rotation. Evan Mobley was killing us. I don't know what happened in the second half. They stopped going to him, but I'm happy they did. But he was killing us in that first half, which is why Cleveland was still staying in there. They were still staying in the game due to that aspect, right? You know, Dean Wade is another player that spacing, shooting aspect. This is why they had him on the team. We'll see what happens playing at home, because I believe Cleveland is going to be a totally different team at home. They're going to mix it up. They're going to have that home cooked meal. They're going to be comfortable in their own stadium to where other players are going to show up, right? Other players are going to be there, right? Dean Wade, I think Max Strus, who went 1 for 7 from field goal, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line. I think he's going to be better at home, right? This is one of the key aspects in Game 3 is home cooked meal. Cleveland being home, right? Cleveland is a better team at home. Let's throw up some stats real quick, all right? Let's see if I leave that one here, if you can see that. Let me take away the subtitles if I can. Scoreboard. Yeah, I thought I took away the scoreboard. Anyway, so Cleveland is 6-1 at home, right? This is something that we need to reckon with. This is something that we need to. They got talent, but I think MSG spook plays. It's 100%. 100%. With a lot of players. You hearing before that who was pumping in noise during their practice to mimic MSG, right? That's how much players kind of fear. And Jared Allen said it before, the brights were light in MSG. It definitely was. But Cleveland plays a total different style at home. Like you said, you're home, you play comfortable. A lot of the role players play better. As you can see with Cleveland at home, 126 points, 115, 125, 114, 116, 112. Their only loss came when they only had 94 points, but they averaged 114 at home, right? 38 on the boards, 21 assists, 8 steals. So they're statistically a better team at home. Yeah, that was Atlanta. Thank you. That was Atlanta. It's crazy what the Garden to do. Shoot, me going to the Garden, seeing it live myself, I felt intimidated with all the loud noise and everyone there. You got all-star lineup of celebrity roles out front, so it's tough. You seeing actors that you like during there. It's a complete distraction for away teams. But yeah, with Cleveland, they're going to be a completely different team at home. And this is what the Knicks need to be prepared for. As you heard with Mikal said, it's technically 0-0, right? They protected home court. Knicks protected home court. Now it's time for Cleveland to go there, right? It's not a series until you win on the road. Oh yeah. I was there. I was there seeing it live. I was literally, it was funny. I was 2 rows away from the mayor. The mayor, Mandani, was definitely at the game, and I was 2 rows back of him. They had bro, Nick Deli. I paid $1,400 for 2 seats. Was darn near, and that was like 227 section, pretty much nosebleeding it. But you gotta experience the Garden during the playoffs. Gotta experience. I wanted to go by myself so I could get better seats, but I had to take the wife. I had to don't let her hear that. But Oh, Mikal is, and this is what we brought him here for, right? This is what we brought Mikal here for. Them draft picks, we don't know who them draft picks could have been, and we seen that the Nets, they're not utilizing those draft picks correctly. But what a player, right? Oh yeah, we got on Mikel's back of how his play, but I've always said wait till the playoffs come. I know, I know. Yeah. Trust me. I had that credit card was shaking once I did that swipe, but I'm like, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. But yeah, Mikel definitely it's a playoff type guy for us. Right? Regular season, let the ups and downs go. We got player development for the other guys to get it going, but there's moments that we needed him there. But some reason, playoff Mikel, it's really a thing. It's really a thing. Mikel is literally the only person in NBA history. Let me switch it up so we could. What's the bigger bet? Mikel is the only player in NBA history during the playoffs to shoot 60% from the field, 40 from three, and 100% from the free throw. Right? That's what those 5 first round draft pick is worth. Right? Forget the regular season. Yeah, we're gonna be like, all right, we needed you during this time period. You only having 14 points, or you only having 5 points or 8 points during this time period. When the playoff time came, Mikel showed up, worth every pick. And then when you look back at that trade, it was really we really gave up. Was it Bogdanovich was the only player that we moved technically in those picks. So to get that for someone who really we just picked up in a trade from Detroit, to know that somebody wasn't staying to get Mikel, I guess the draft picks, but I'll do that trade any given Sunday. Any given Sunday, I'll do that trade again. But yeah, back to Cleveland. Cleveland's going to be a total different team. Their game plan did not make any sense with putting Jared Allen on Josh Hart. Now, granted, to start the game, it looked like it was going to work because he was bricking. He was bricking. We're not going to lie. Seeing that up close to front, my wife even said, is he going to get to the paint? Is he going to attack the paint? I'm like, nah, Josh is good money. He's good. He's good. Oh, but we sniff in the finals. We are literally 2 games away from the finals, right? This is not last year against Indy, to where we lost the first game, won the second, lost to Indy, then won, and then come back and pretty much get demolished. Nah, this is a different feel, right? Total different feel. So sniffing the finals, I think we got our feet there. We got our feet there. Nah, wifey do not know ball. She do not know ball. Only, and I'm like, and I told her, I'm like, nah. Josh usually gets it going later on, right? He's going to always make a crazy turnover where the ball is being thrown out of bounds, or he's going to attack the paint and get a no call, don't run back. You're going to get one of those, but he's going to get like 9 deflection, 2 steals. He's going to get a block. He's going to get 10 rebounds. He's going to knock down a crucial three-pointer, a key crucial three-pointer. So I told her, yo, we stick with Josh, right? Stick with Josh. Told her, stick with Josh. He's going to prevail. And the funny part is I'm very superstitious when it comes to my Knicks. Very superstitious. So when she went to the bathroom, right, this was kind of the start of the third, Josh started knocking all those three-pointers down while she was away. When she came back, Knicks were up 15. She was like, oh, what happened? Like, Josh started hitting those three-pointers you told him not to make, right? And he kept on going. But that was due to Cleveland's game plan, once again, which I thought was a crazy game plan. They put Allen on him, right? So that he can help out on the pick and rolls, and he could be that initial defender. But with the Knicks, they were rotating a rock, moving the ball, handing it to Josh. Josh was catching it. And kudos to him for not being afraid to take that shot. There were some moments where he pump fake, went to the rack and got the layup. So as much as I want to say Cat or Brunson is the key, it's the role players. It's Josh, right? It's Deuce. It's these guys being effective. The bench, Mitch, right? Even though they were a minus in this game, Deuce still knocked down a three-pointer, right? Still grabbing boards, still getting assists. That's what we like. Mitch only played 12 minutes. That's fine, Mitch. Why? Because they going with the hacker Mitch. They definitely going with the hacker Mitch, which is crazy. He's been bricking too. Just I would pay security to distract it. Oh, that's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. I'm very superstitious. So I was like, and then of course when she came back, that's when Cleveland brought it back down. And I was just like, all right, you might have to go back to the bathroom. But yeah, it's definitely the role players. Why? Because look at Cleveland's bench, right? Cleveland bench, non-productive, right? You're going to get everything from the starter. So if we can still alleviate some of that pressure off our guys, right? Donovan Mitchell got to play 38 minutes, right? Max Strus. We know Max Strus from Miami. Strus used to be a Knick killer. He used to destroy us from three-point line, right? Dennis Schroeder. We know Dennis Schroeder from Detroit. He gave us fits in that series, defensively and offensively. But that defense, that pressure that we doing with these guys are very effective. It's ultra effective. So if the bench can provide anything, it's still better than what Cleveland guys are doing. It's beneficial for us. Very beneficial for us. But for me, the key, I definitely want to talk about the key aspect for us to get this win. Because I'm definitely not going to be on too long. But let me see. The key for us, what could be the key? I think Knicks need to press, right? I think we need to continue to press, full court press whenever they get the rock, right? Put the ball handling pressure on Donovan Mitchell. Put the pressure on James Harden. Full court pressure. Why? It looks like they're gassed. They are literally, when it comes to the fourth quarter, I don't know why Cleveland is unable to score, right? They're good up until the third. That fourth quarter, they can't produce, right? If the Knicks continue, especially with their pace, right? That is the key. Pace on offense. Full court press on the defensive end, right? Wear them down. They literally came out of back-to-back game sevens, right? So they already played 9 games. These guys, and probably played 9 games in what, how many days? 18 games? 18 days? So they're definitely tired, right? Continue to mix it up defensively, right? You're pressing, get back. We're going to hedge the pick and roll when they have certain personnels in, right? Blitz and still get the ball off of James Harden's hands, especially if he tries to get hot, or Donovan Mitchell, either one, right? Switching. When you have that unit out, I like it when they had Shamit out there. They had Mikal. They had OG. They had Brunson. No, not Brunson. They had Cat and Mitch out there. I'm switching all of that. You got the double big lineup out there with multiple guards. We can switch that. We can definitely switch that. I think those are the key in rebounding, right? I want to say Cleveland out-rebound the Knicks in both of the game, right? You saw it on the offensive rebounding aspect and the defensive rebounding. It just so happens that the Knicks shot better getting into the paint, right? As well as the 3-point shots were dropping occasionally. But there's this stat I want to show really quickly that I think it's important. Right now with the Knicks, and this is a first, right? This is why I feel so good. You compare this team to the 2017 Golden State Warriors. You compare this team to the Cavs that won it. But every category that the Knicks is first right now in the playoffs, which I would never fathom in the world, right? First to 10 wins, right? Knicks is the first to win 10 playoff games, right? First in home playoff wins, already 7. The Knicks are first in field goal percentage at 51%. I think that is probably one of the top keys. The fact that the Knicks are able to score efficiently in the playoffs. That is the key, right? We're first in 2-point field goal. Obviously, that's 58%, right? First in 3 points field goal at 39. So we're nearly 40% from 3 in the playoffs, right? Playoffs is a time where you slow everything down, where teams take away your best plays, your best player, whatever position or spot you want to do. This is what teams take away. And the Knicks are first in those categories. Crazy, right? First in plus minus. We are beating teams by 18 points on average. Why not go to the finals when you're doing things like this? Right? Now we can say the East is weak. The Knicks didn't play anybody. Cool. I'll take it. I will take it. Right? We played the Hawks. People were saying that, oh, Atlanta forwards are big. They built. They could take the Knicks. But then we spanked them 4-2. Oh, nah, they didn't play nobody. Then belt to ass against the Sixers. But it's the same Sixers that took out the Boston, who they thought Boston was coming out the East. But we swept them like it was nothing. Knicks didn't play nobody. Okay. Right? Now we play the Cleveland Cavaliers, who took out the number 1 seed, Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball. Right? We took them out. I don't know. Knicks ain't playing nobody, but I continue. First in layups made. Right? First in net rating. First in rebounding. First in defensive rating. We're first in defensive rating right now. 104. Right? We're first in offense, first in defense. You compile that with the Knicks. Never in a million years. Never in a million years. Right? First in efficient field goal percentage. First in true shooting. First in player impact estimate. First in points in the paint. First in 3 mays in the right corner. That seemed like they just had to add it that first, first in corner 3-pointers. That's fine. But this is why Knick fans feel like this could be the year. Right? The team is playing well. We're adjusting well. We're balling. Right? We're able to adjust. You saw when Cat got it going in the last series against Atlanta, Cat had it going against Philly. But that was OG series. Philly was kind of OG series before the hammy. And then Atlanta too. Actually, Atlanta was OG series because he was averaging over 24. Philly was Cat series, which was killing. This is going to be Brunson series right now. That's how versatile the team is. And Mikal been consistent all the way through. All the way through. But to combat Cleveland's 6-1 record at home, which they've been great, right? Knicks are 4-1 at home. I mean, it's 4-1 on the road, right? So the Knicks is just as good at home as they is on the road. As they average 122 points on the road. You're not even home. So for a team to be as efficient on the road. Now, granted, Atlanta is MSG South. We know that. We know that Philly is definitely MSG, what, East, right? So there were tons of Knicks fans during that aspect. What's going to happen in Cleveland? I'm hearing through the grapevines that about 40% of the tickets bought from New York area codes and Jersey. We'll see tonight what that looks like. But it could be possible the Knicks still carry the torch and bring it over to Cleveland, where we got tons of Knicks jersey in there. And that'll be beneficial with the Knicks dropping 108. Oh, Jay Mills. Ladies and gents, let's give it up for Jay Mills. Let's give it up for Jay Mills. Jay Mills is literally like the Lex Luger to Superman. Right? Jay Mills is the kryptonite. But it's one of my guys. Jay Mills, you gotta talk to me, my brother. He says, congrats on the Knicks. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Jay Mills. But sadly, they ain't gonna win the chip. Jay Mills, you know me. I'm a humble Knicks fan. All I care is about relevancy, my brother. Relevancy. All I care is about relevancy, right? Get us to the finals. Let me clap. Let me go to a game. Let me spend mad bread on a game. Be happy. Whatever the outcome is, whatever the outcome. It's just relevancy. Hopefully we bring some players to come through. Maybe King James, maybe Giannis come through, get us over the hump. Because OKC or San Antonio's balling. And I don't want to see either one. Oh, no, you my guy. You know I'm going to be happy to see you, Jay Mills. He says, I like to build up the fit down at the same part. Oh, yeah. Nah, true. So, yeah, it's definitely up and down with you, Jay Mills. But I appreciate it. I wouldn't have it no other way. You wouldn't be yourself, Jay Mills, if you won't come in and rain on the parade. But I appreciate you, brother. Been rocking for years, man. Definitely been rocking for years. But you seen where we came from, Jay Mills. Right? Progression, brother. Progression. You saw my downfall. Niggas about to shed a tear when we lost. But now, Knicks is moving good, bro. Potentially 9 straight victories. Right? And I just brought up the stat that Knicks are like number 1 in stats. I couldn't fathom. I could not fathom, brother. Knicks are balling. But, like you said, Kobe said it best. Job not done. What is there to be happy about? We up 2-0. Job not done. And we've seen, mind you, and Cleveland has been battle tested. They came down against Detroit from being down 2-0, right? To ultimately win the series. So they gutted it through. I'm not putting it past Cleveland. But my Knicks are doing something special right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. And to believe it or not, I'm gonna say this. I've never said this out loud or on stream, but I do think the NBA is rigged, right? I do think certain aspects happen to where refs control a game to how they want certain things to go. I just think this is the year that they want the Knicks to go to the finals. And I'm fine with being handed a trip to the finals, guys. We've been trash for years. We've been a laughing stock for years. I would take it. But we're ultimately still playing good. Cleveland went to the free throw line multiple times compared to the Knicks. Way more. Right? Let's pull up the stats. How many times they went to the free throw line? 32 times for Cleveland. To the Knicks, 14. Right? 32-14. Knicks still got the W. Still won by 16. Right? Refs was trying to give it to them. Knicks said, nope, if we're going to have to win, we're going to have to win convincingly. And that's what happened. But my guy, Jay Mills, I remember I had the shades on. We took the L. I was vexed. A couple years later, now we developed. We're moving. So I don't want them to get to the finals. I want them. Oh no, to get composed. What? You don't want us to go to the finals, J Mill? The NBA is better when the Knicks are balling, right? The world is better. You know when the Knicks play, there's no crime going on in the city, J Mills. The world is at ease. The world is calm. No hurricanes, no tornadoes across the world. No storms. Like, we're good. Knicks have to go to the finals. And we have to win it, too. If we win it, that's it. I got bail money put aside because I know I'm going to be bugging. I know I'm going to be wilding out. That's what I'm talking about. Hamdom TV. That's what I'm talking about. See, I appreciate you stopping by. Let my guy Jay Mills know this is the Knicks year, right? Jay Mills, you came through when we won the cup, right? Ain't nobody thought we was gonna do the cup. Food tasting better. Look, everything better. But look at the cup, right? No one expected us to beat San Antonio at the cup. We made the adjustments. We knocked it down. Let's go. Ruggs, let's go. 89. They sleeping on us. 100%. 100%. 100%. And like I said, the stats that we have for the Knicks right now, 94% chance of the Knicks. This is analytics. You know, we don't move with analytics like that. Traffic moving better. Word. Nobody shoved on the trains. Everything is better. Everything. Trains on time. You know MTA down here crazy. Buses running on perfect routes. Everything is better. Yo, the Jamaican spot got jerk sauce. Pause. They giving you extra sauce on the rice and peas. Everything is going smooth. Everything goes smooth when the Knicks win it. But a 64% chance to make it to the finals. This feels like it's 99 all over again. Right? And I was born in 89. So I was 10 when the Knicks went to the finals. Got Kathy dancing, right? You got her dancing. Right? Mandani about to pull up as well. And he was at game 2. So just everything's flow good for us during that aspect. So it's good. NBA headquarters is down in New York. Booming business. I want to say they said the ratings are even up right now for the NBA as having one of the best watch playoffs throughout all platforms. Right? Exactly, Ruggs. Look, number 1 in offense, number 1 on defense, field goal percentage. I'll pull it up. We got it right here, baby. Right here. First of 10 wins. First home playoff wins with 7. Field goal percentage. Net rating at 18. Our net rating is better than Oklahoma City Thunder right now. Right? I was locked up. Lost 80 packs. Oh, damn. How you lose the 80 packs? You supposed to have the youngin' move that for you while you Nino. You supposed to be Nino. Nino don't touch that. Let the Pookies, don't, that's, excuse me, the Brooklyn in me came out. I apologize, brothers. I apologize about that. But yeah, number 1 in all ratings. Right? Number 1 in all ratings. We are set. Nostalgic Nick, what it do? Appreciate you rocking. Appreciate you stopping by. We're just kind of going off of these stats that the Knicks have. That's first in almost every category. It's crazy, right? I couldn't fathom. I truly couldn't. And like we said, it's due to the versatility of the team that we have. We could go with the double bigs. We could go with ultimate guard play, which is going to be helpful if we go against Oklahoma City Thunder. As you know, Thunder plays like 4 guards, and they run big sometimes, mainly with their second unit. Their first unit, they go with Chet and Hartenstein, and they mix it up, but they mostly play a lot of guard play. So Jose, he's going to be pivotal, if we make it to the finals, getting up into Shea, but then he probably going to use up all those 6 fouls because Shea going to be flopping on everything. But the versatility that the Knicks have is going to be very important. The double big lineup is going to be important. The coaching, which to me has been the key for us in general. The coaching has been phenomenal. The adjustments have been phenomenal. Right? Early in the year, I was questioning the owner, Jim Dolan, to sit there and say the Knicks going to the finals. I'm like, bro, how you coming out making that statement? And then we go on a 2-9 losing streak, but then we got it going. But I guess he saw the workings of what he had as a team. Right? Says, would you start Mitch for OKC finals? Honestly, I don't think I would start Mitch, because they could possibly still go with the hacker Mitch and stuff like that. I like OG on Chet. I truly do. Right? Chet can space the floor, put the ball down. I think OG is perfect for that. Similar to what we're dealing with what's this guy name? Keep forgetting his name. With Evan Mobley. Right? Similar to Evan Mobley. A taller guy that could put the ball on the floor, shoot the 3-pointer. But OG has been playing great against him. And then they mixing it up. Right? If their double bigs is killing us, I would probably go that route, but I wouldn't start Mitch though. Mitch, I think, is still very crucial in those short spurts against the second unit. Like when OKC goes small and they run that 4-guard lineup with Chet, I would bring in Mitch, because they like to do a lot of pick and rolls with that, and Mitch can switch and stay on those smaller guards, right? If we do the double big, they're going to isolate Cat. They're going to get at Cat, I believe. They're going to run a lot of pick and roll at Cat, force him to come out and play defense. Even though you do have Mitch to come out and sag off and help, but then if they, OKC is great in the paint with, big to big action, or finding Hartenstein in the paint for his little floater. So I would mix it up, but it could be a good thing, but Mitch gotta do better at the free throw line, to be honest with you. Because teams could start early with the hack and Mitch, send them to the line, slow down the position, get us out rhythm, and then come down and be aggressive. So we don't want to take away possessions for ourselves. But we got to get past Cleveland first. I don't want to jump the gun. But we gotta get past Cleveland first. But tonight is definitely going to be the key of how the Knicks continue to play on the road. Definitely. Says coach ain't even break out the double big. We ain't see Cat run the offense since Atlanta, which is true. He's still got a lot of tricks left, and we healthy. Knock on wood. Pause. Ruggs. They didn't even bring out. Remember in the Atlanta series, the high pick and roll with Cat and Brunson 2-man, where they spam that to death. They didn't bring out that aspect. They definitely didn't bring out the aspect. Actually, game 1, they brought out running the offense through Cat, but that double big lineup was very tough for the Knicks to kind of run. They knew the sets. They saw it coming. They prepared for that, which is why we went back to Brunson heavy, which is totally fine. They took the ball out of Cat's hand. Brunson was able 14 assists, right? Then, of course, in game 1, he dropped 38. So we have multiple styles, right? Multiple styles to mix it up. And Nostalgia Nick gotta play perfect against OKC. We have to. When we played Oklahoma, the games were always close, right? Even when we had Tibbs, it had to been a buzzer beater from Shea to take us out. Even this year, the games were close. I think we can do it. It's ultimately the refs. How the refs are going to call the game, right? Because if Oklahoma gets to the line 30 times and they're still knocking down their 3-pointers, Shea's going off, right? Oklahoma bench had 73 points last night. That's the most ever, right? Our bench is capable of balling, But to drop 73? To drop 73? I don't know. Right? That's the aspect that I'm worrying about against OKC. It's the refs and the bench. Right? You're right. OKC got the refs. And I don't know how. Like, they treating Shea as he's modern day Jordan. That's how they treating Shea, as he's modern day Jordan. Just crazy. There was a combination of this guy flopping, right? That is not ethical ball, right? It's not. Rugg said that was beautiful basketball. Definitely. OKC got the rest 100%. OKC film study gotta be exhausting. We got actions. It's crazy. Put Mikal on SGA. Oh, yes. Yes. First of all, everybody's playing SGA. There's going to be time periods of where you know they're going to want to seek out Brunson. And Brunson, for the most part, can stay. Just keep your hands down. Use his big body. Shea like to push off. Big body Brunson. He's up for the task. Deuce, I think, is going to be pivotal. Deuce on Shea, pivotal. Right? It's going to be moments of where we're going to have to put Alvarado on him. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if they start Josh on Shea. Remember, Josh took that challenge and said, let me deal with Jalen Johnson. Right? Josh was balling against Jalen Johnson. Balling. We told Josh, hold it down against Maxey. Even though Mikal was primary, but he helped out a lot. Balling. We have the defenders to stay with Shea. Mix it up. Even put OG on him sometimes. It's just that don't fall out. Falling out. Well, look, J-Dub is out with the hamstring again. Right? Now, I don't wish injury upon nobody. But J-Dub need to sit out the rest of the year. If he want to be healthy, J-Dub need to sit out the rest of the year. But yeah, J-Dub got the... No, J-Dub is definitely a problem. But I think he's dealing with a hamstring right now. Well, Ruggs, Caruso is balling right now. Balling. Caruso is balling. He's balling. And he's a fit, because OKC, they could throw Caruso. They can throw Dort. They can throw Williams. Like, they have tons of guards. What's the dude that got his nail polished? They can throw tons of guards on Brunson. So we're going to have to run the offense through Cat. Cat has to. Brunson already shattered Caruso ass. Boom. Oh, yeah, he definitely caught him with the baseline. And mind you, and that was because Caruso was playing hard-nosed defense on Brunson. Brunson said, all right, time belt to ass. Time to get it. Jordan Clarkson as well. That is true. You right, nostalgic. 100%. GTA, going to be crucial. Going to be crucial. All right, so that series it's going to be a tough series, because even for the Knicks right now, with the double big lineup and our offense, it gives us a little trouble. Not to say it's a lot, but it's giving us a little trouble, especially on the boards, right? Allen grabbing boards, right? Offensive rebounding. You have Mobley, offensive rebounding. It's just, that's what I think might be the issue as well. If the Knicks get out rebound them, then we're good. We'll see. J. Will got to worry about Bobby Kawhi. That's that OG Anunoby. Hopefully OG get his Achilles correct. I mean, not his Achilles, his thighs. So he's good. We don't need no more injuries from OG. But he seems like he's getting it and he's coming along the way. So it's a good series. Knicks are looking good right now. 2-0 against Cleveland. Taking game 3. Like I said, the key aspect for taking game 3 is pressing. We need to press from the beginning. Cleveland is already worn down. Multiple game 7s. They played, how many games they played? They played 9 games in like in a what 13, 14, 15 day game span. So they played multiple games. They're tired. Start to press from the jump, right? Continue with that pressure on them. Cleveland's a better team at home, so applying that pressure gets them off their rhythm, right? Especially James Harden. James Harden, it's a cone on defense. So if we go at him while we're defending and putting that pressure on him on the offensive end, we're taking James out, right? Because a lot of his game, dribble, 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 attack, step back, all that, that's exerting energy. You see Donovan Mitchell, even though he's still balling, averaging what 20 something this series, his 3-point shots are not efficient. That's where he kills us, right? That's where Donovan Mitchell goes ham. It's at the 3-point line, but he's 2 for 7, 28%. If we continue to lock that down, we're set. Why? By trapping, right? By hedging, right? You put him in a drop coverage, he's going to pull up for the 3-point line. So no more drop coverage when he has that ball, right? That's how you switch it up on a defensive end, right? Rebounding, team rebounding, right? Like they're out rebounding us now. If they're home, let's take away that aspect. Let's definitely take away that aspect. And the 3-point defense, right? They only shot 25% from 3-pointers. Let me bring it down so you can see. 25% from 3. Home cooked meal is coming now, right? And teams play better at home. So expect those shots to drop now. We got to play defense. Got to play better defense at home. We got to lock it up. And I think that defensive pressure would be good. So Donovan Mitchell's had yet to impact this series. And we don't need that to happen. We don't need that to happen, Ruggs. He's had moments of where he's knocked down a 3-pointer here, knocked down here to bring it within 10 or within 5. But he hasn't hit that bomb, right? And I just think he's tired. He doesn't look explosive when... Because remember, Donovan Mitchell likes to attack the paint. Even though he mixes up with a 3, he likes to attack the paint. He really have not been attacked in that much. All right, he's still getting to the free throw line, still 9 times a game, 8 times a game. So he's still getting those. But the Knicks are mixing up that defense that's throwing him off rhythm. So we got to continue with that aspect. And be aggressive, right? Jalen Brunson, still be aggressive. Pass the ball when you need to. Mikal, my guy Mikal is efficient. This dude is shooting 60% from the field. 40 from 3 and 100% from the free throw. This crazy. So his last 3 in game 1 was the spark that set fire to his ass. Yeah, true. It's true. It's true. I appreciate Ruggs. Ruggs is my guy. Ruggs, you got to bring you on the show, Ruggs. But appreciate you. But Knicks defense, right? Defense, bench play, mixing it up on the offense. That is literally the key for the Knicks to pull a victory off tonight. And I heard through the grapevine, 41% of ticket buyers have New York and Jersey addresses. So this might be another MSG East. Might be another MSG East, though. But we'll see tonight. If Knicks stick to the game plan that I have, there should be another victory. Should be going 3-0. And that's when the series swing. Once you get a win on somebody's house, that's when the series begins. And I think that's what's going to happen tonight. I believe the Knicks are going to come out with the pressure, playing great defense. The offense is going to flow as the Knicks is number 1 in offensive rating, shooting 58% from 2, which is helping us, but also shooting 39 from 3-point line. So let's continue on that aspect. I will see. Lafayette says, we all we got, bro. Knicks for life. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But I'm ready to go. Give me some dinner before the game start. I'll be back here for the post-game chat so we can see the Knicks hopefully go up. And I can change this number from 2-0 to 3-0 and 6 wins left to technically 5 wins left to make it as champions. But we only need 2 to make it to the NBA Finals, guys. We are in a better position than we were last year. This last year was a little shaky, but we are here. So on that note, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Until next time, deuces. Let's get number 10 tonight. We out.
You gon' do it if I say so. I'ma do it for the pesos. I fell in love with the bass load. I fell in love with the bass load. I see the ops staying plain clothes. I see the ops y'all in plain clothes. I fell in love with a waist load. I fell in love with a waist load. Fell in love with going up, it's coming down. It's for clowns, so whenever I show up, it's going down like we drown. Competition try to shake me cause I'm down with the hounds. Competition wanna pay me cause I'm down with the pounds and the ounces. Say I'm too pop, they swearing I get around. They say I'm too big, notorious on the sound. But bitch, I'm Brad Pitt and glorious on the mound. And that's why you do it if I say so. And that's why I do it for the pesos. A nigga fell in love with the bass load. A nigga fell in love with the bass load. I see the fucking ops stay in plain clothes. I see the fucking ops y'all in plain clothes. A nigga fell in love with a waist load. A nigga fell in love with a waist load. A nigga fell in love with the drip, fell in love with the grip, fell in love with the trip, fell in love with the flip, fell in love with the mix, fell in love with the bliss, fell in love with the miss. It's probably why I leave the fucking mob and assist, no cap. I'm probably shaking hands with the glitch. Coin from the whip, smoke a blunt like the lick. Take a ride, then we slide, and we watch pieces hit, and that's why you do it if I say so. And that's why I do it for the pesos. A nigga fell in love with the bass load. A nigga fell in love with the bass load. I see the fucking ops stay in plain clothes. I see the fucking ops y'all in plain clothes. A nigga fell in love with a waist load. A nigga fell in love with a waist load. Put baby girl on a pedestal like she bout to hide my rank. Like she bout to drive my tank. Like she bout to slide in my bank. That's why I put the work on the way to scale. So if I'm down, I'm still straight. And she gon' help me out of my space. And get you bitches out of my face. Mother. And that's why you do it if I say so. And that's why I do it for the pesos. A nigga fell in love with the bass load. A nigga fell in love with the bass load. I see the fucking ops stay in plain clothes. I see the fucking ops y'all in plain clothes. A nigga fell in love with a waist load. A nigga fell in love with a waist load.